Happy Camper Radio starts in 3, 2, 1. Hello, my friends, and welcome back once again to the Happy Camper Radio Show. This is the only place you need to be when you're ready to talk camping. Camping is what we're about. Camping is all we're talking about. And believe me, my friends, we do it upright each and every week here on the show. Have you ever thought about possibly, instead of buying a new camper or travel trailer, building your own? On today's show, we're going to be talking to somebody who is taken on this type of project. And I thought for a little while there that nobody would really take the time to even think about doing something like that because, it does take some knowledge of some certain skills to be able to construct something like a travel trailer or a pop-up camper or whatever the case may be. But I am really surprised that some people are actually putting their first and their best foot forward to make that happen. Well, on today's show, we're going to be talking to a gentleman who came up with the idea after acquiring, get this, a boat trailer. And he is very excited about what he's into right now, and he's hoping to have his project done in time for the 2015 spring camping season. It's a great show. You won't want to miss it. Our phone number here at the Happy Camper Radio Show is 404-537-2267. That's 404-537-CAMP. You could call us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's our hotline. Leave us a message with your camping question, your comments, anything about the show. If you have a show idea you would like to share with us, maybe there's something you would like for us to talk about. And that's the number to call, 404-537-CAMP. You can like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Happy Camper Radio. Follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker. Add us to Circles on Google+, and now you can subscribe to our brand new YouTube channel. And this would be an exciting venture for anybody to get into, especially if you're living right now up in the Boston, Massachusetts area. Woo! I'm telling you, they are getting plummeted with some snow. Not the very best camping weather, but if you're holed up in your house, you've got plenty of firewood, you've been feeding the fire, it's a very comfy and cozy situation. Why not go over to your entertainment center and you can plug in any one of our current or previous episodes by simply logging on to YouTube and just look up the Happy Camper Radio channel, and we'll be right there for you. Of course, you could take us out on the road with you. You could take us to the campsite. There are many great places and ways that you can enjoy this wonderful camping radio show. It's time now to go over here to our shout-out window, and we're going to say hello to some newcomers to the program. First of all, we want to say hi to Matt Petrazen. He likes us on Facebook, to Eric Sleeper, Tori Cross, to Enza from Kansas City, Missouri, Christy Smith of Sheboygan, Wisconsin, Dave Roberts from Ontario, Master Morgan from Massachusetts, and also to the fine folks at Forest Fields Camping Park in the UK. They're following us on Twitter. Also to Grand Palace Beach and Resorts, to Tom Watson from Chesapeake, Virginia, and also to Rihanna Blatch, and she's joining us from Queensland, Australia. Thank you all so very much, each and every one of you, for being a part of this great Happy Camper Radio family. Hey, are you in the market for some new camping equipment? Maybe something as big as a travel trailer or even a motorhome. Well, do you know you can do some great shopping online? And we've made it easy for you. Go to our homepage, www.happycamperradio.com. We have recently signed up with some affiliate programs. And if you're in the market for camping equipment, just click on any one of the ads, browse through their catalog, look at the great products that are there. These are reputable companies, and keep this in mind that any time that you make a purchase through our website, you are helping to support this great, wonderful radio show. Okay, I have never thought in the back of my mind when I first started this program that a lot of folks getting into the world of RVs would ever take on a project like this. Could you imagine having an envision of building your own camper? I didn't. I didn't think that too many people were doing it at first, but right now it's not turning out to be a bad idea. And we've got somebody on the phone here that took on this project after acquiring a boat trailer and getting it legal and making sure that everything is done in accordance with code and what have you. And he is really excited about this. And he's here to talk with us right now. Let's go to the phone. Joining us here on the Happy Camper Radio Show, we are delighted to have Acworth, Georgia resident Rich Denard, who is talking with us today about a new project. Rich, welcome to the program, first of all.
Hey, Skip, thanks for having me.
We're delighted to have you here on the show. People who go camping oftentimes buy their own tent. They if they have the money and the budget, they go out and buy an RV or in some cases a motorhome, either buy it used or new. You have taken a very unusual approach that not too many folks will engage in. You are actually building your own RV.
That's right.
How is the project coming so far?
Well, it's going a little slower than I had anticipated, but it's coming along nicely, and I hope to have it done in a couple of weeks.
Now, you talked to me about this here a few weeks back, and this all started with the envision of building an RV on top of a boat trailer. How did you come across this boat trailer, and what put into your mind the idea, well, hey, I'm going to put an RV on top of this boat trailer, and this is going to be my method of camping now?
Well, it was a few things that came together. The first being a YouTube video that I saw where a gentleman actually restored an old 1960s Scotty camper. And I thought that sounded like something really cool. I like vintage things, and it looked like a fun project. However, once he got into it, it looked like a pretty nasty job. I mean, it looked very difficult, and this guy actually had to strip it all the way down to the frame and basically start from scratch using templates to rebuild the thing. And then I thought, well, maybe I should just start that way, start with the bare bones trailer and just build my own. And I had seen several other people on YouTube that have done that, and so I decided to do that. And I had been looking at trailers, and lo and behold, I was hanging out with my brother-in-law, and he said, "Do you know anybody that wants a John boat?" And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, you know, that John boat's been sitting in my yard for about 2 or 3 years, and it's not doing me any good." And I said, "Well, to heck with the boat. I just want the trailer." So I got both of them and proceeded to build a little mini camper onto the boat trailer.
Rich, you just brought back some really beautiful memories, and I thank you for this in advance. As a young kid, the very first time me and my siblings went camping, it was with our grandparents, and they rented a Scotty trailer. Now, you know how small these Scotty trailers are. We're going back to the 70s now. Can you imagine? Now, I've got a wonderful set of grandparents. I've got to say, you know, I was very blessed to have grandparents like this. But they took myself, my 4 brothers and sisters, and all 7 of us managed to get into that small Scotty trailer.
Wow.
And we did that for a number of years, and that's how we spent our vacation. So, yes, I can understand the smallness of the Scotty trailer, but still, thinking back, they had a lot of the luxuries, and there's even a lot more today that people have that they can add inside their newly constructed RV. And in your case, you're custom building yours. So
Correct.
you did get the trailer all taken care of. You've got the tags, you've got the title and everything. So it's perfectly legal. Now you're actually engaged in building the RV itself.
Right,
So,
and that's so cool that you mentioned that about your grandparents, because the same thing is in my family, actually on both sides. Both sets of grandparents loved camping, and my father's parents always had a camper. They had a full-size camper, and we used to go camping at Moccasin Creek on Lake Burton in Georgia, and my cousins and I would often sleep in tents around the camper. And I plan to sort of dedicate mine to my grandparents and do kind of a calligraphy in memory of on the back side of it. It's just been a family tradition all growing up to go camping, and I've carried that on in my own family. But I'm getting a little tired of tent camping, so I just wanted something that would be more comfortable in cold weather as well as, as far as sleeping.
Well, most of our listeners know I've camped all my life, and I bounced around from the tent camping, and I went to a truck camper. I'm back to tent camping again, and I'm thinking of upgrading now to a bigger tent. I don't know. Maybe one of these days I will get older and I'll finally settle down and just say, hey, I'm gonna do the RV. It'll all be self-contained. But the trailer that you're interested in building is obviously going to be small, because you've showed us the picture of the actual trailer, and we're going to share that with your OK on our social media pages as well as our homepage, happycamperradio.com. But how far along on the project are you right now?
Well, I've basically got a $300 floor.
Great.
My goal is to keep the thing under $500, which I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do, and also around 700 pounds. And so I've got a really nice insulated framed out floor that is 6.5 feet wide by 8 feet long. I am 6'5" and I weigh about 250 pounds. So I laid on it and I pretty much take up the whole thing. So that's going to be kind of interesting. I mean, basically it's just a place to sleep, and I'm going to design the whole thing myself and paint it and everything. So it's coming along nicely. But right now, I don't have a body on it yet.
Okay, so you're going to be the only one camping in this, or is your wife going to join you?
My wife and I are going to be sleeping in it. It'll probably double as a little playhouse for my kids when we're not camping. They're, very excited about the camper itself, and I'm looking into getting a pickup truck with a camper bed top on that, so we can just kind of have like a little caravan, so to speak. But they're satisfied with tent camping. They love that, so
until you get this project done, and then your kids are probably going to take it over and you'll be sleeping in the tent. I know how that goes with kids, yes. But have you already got an idea in your mind on how you're going to lay this out and what you're going to include inside of it?
Yes, I've got some clear plexi shelving. And basically, I'm using the clear plexi shelving so that I can put a cell phone or an iPad or even just a little mini fluorescent light on top of that, and that'll provide lighting inside the camper. I'm not going to run electrical or anything like that. It's pretty much just going to be a bed in a box with a vent on top and some windows on either side, and a storage container on the front end that's going to be triangular shaped to make it aerodynamic. Because the boat trailer has fixtures on it that made it useful for carrying the boat, I've kind of had to work around them. I did cut off a few of those pieces, and I'm kind of making it a combination of several other plans that I've seen online.
Are you going to be building this as a teardrop camper, or do you have another design in mind?
I have a slightly different design in mind. Mine's going to be more flat and angular, simply because I'm not a carpenter, and I've seen some very technical plans for teardrops, and I don't want to get involved in a project that I can't finish.
Do you have anybody helping you?
That is a great question. I have decided as of this week that I'm going to do the rest of the project myself. I have had some of my friends help me. Just getting the trailer to my house was a challenge because I had to go over to my brother-in-law's house, get it, and bring it back. And then, of course, I didn't have a lot of the tools that I needed, so I had to borrow some tools. And I had to get a friend of mine that does some light electrical work to help me with the running lights and the tail lights and stuff. And I'm just tired of asking for favors. So I'm gonna do the rest of the thing myself.
And that's cool because, even if you feel that you don't have certain capabilities, you can always go to those YouTube videos and just about any project you want to take on. I don't care if you're sewing together a tent or you're building an RV. Chances are you're going to find something online and you'll find out how to do it the right way and realize, wow, I never knew that. I never knew it could be that simple. And yeah, you
Yes.
may have to borrow some tools here and there to get the project done. But as every project that you do, like myself, for example, as I get into it, and something I may have never done before, but once I get started and I start to seeing it taking shape, the more excitement starts building up in you, and the more you want to do, the more you want to get it done. And then finally, when it's all over, it's something that you can proudly sign your name to.
That's correct. YouTube has been my best friend throughout this project, and also seeing the good weather on the horizon, it's really lit a fire under me to get this thing done.
Do you think you're going to have it done before the spring camping season?
Sure, my goal is to have it done before the end of February, and that's always been my goal. So I think I might be able to achieve that, especially since right now all I have to do is put, four walls and a roof on it.
How does your wife feel about camping in such a small enclosed environment like this? I'm sure she's supportive of what you're doing, but is she actually going to remodel the interior once it's all done?
I'm not sure. She's really excited about it, and part of the reason she's really excited about it is she does not enjoy tent camping. She's about a one night maximum tent camper, and she definitely requires some sort of facilities. I personally like wilderness camping. I don't really like camping right next to people. That was another reason I like to keep this thing really small and lightweight, is because I do plan to take it to some remote areas and camp in it there. And I don't require any kind of electrical hookups or water or anything like that. I can bring all that with me. But she's super excited because it's going to make the family camping trips a lot more comfortable.
And
Now, she is not so excited about me taking over the garage for this project because our cars have been parked in the driveway and they will be parked in the driveway until I'm finished with this thing. So that's another motivating factor to get it done.
do you have a place to store it once you do complete it?
I don't have a place that where it will be undercover, but I just plan to put hook eyes on the four corners of the thing, and then attach a heavy duty tarp to it with bungee cords so that it can withstand any weather. Plus, I'm going to make it, very, very weatherproof, just so the thing will last a long time.
Yeah, that's a very smart thing to do because I know with my truck camper and not having any experience years ago when I bought that, I unfortunately let the weather get to it, and I have got some repairs to do that are massive right now. But once I get them done, I can get the thing sold, and I can move on to the next thing. But everything is a learning lesson, and I know you're going to have a wonderful time with this. You'll probably be spending as many weekends as you possibly can afford to take, and taking the family out somewhere and going camping. And that's what's really neat about the camping experience, because they build great memories. I'm here sitting still to this minute thinking about the Scotty trailer because you brought that up. And I'm sure somewhere buried deep inside some of these boxes I've got around here, I could probably dig up some old photographs of what that trailer looked like. And, of course, I don't think anybody would want to see what I looked like back when I was about 6 or 7 years old. But
I wouldn't mind seeing that.
No, well, yeah, I'm sure you would. And I'm probably going to get a lot of emails now from folks saying, yeah, Skip, come on, put it online. But,
Yeah,
I got to say this.
photos up.
I've got to say this. That's one of the great things about camping is it builds great memories. And you can't go wrong. I to this very day, I have always said, no matter where I go in life, no matter how many camping trips I take on before I leave the face of this earth, I will have made a ton of friends in the process. And you meet some of the greatest people in the world at a public or private campground, or in some of your cases, you may be out there in the wilderness, but if you meet somebody, you're going to have a friend for life.
Yeah, it's really cool that you bring that up. I mean, I already mentioned the history in my own family, and not only do we have photographs from my youth, but I've actually inherited all the old Super 8 films from my dad's younger days, and it's really awesome to watch their camping trips from, the 70s and things. And talking about building memories and making friends, I actually lived in England for a little while, and camping is pretty much non-existent in England. If you're camping in England, it's pretty much in someone's garden. All the space is kind of taken over. And I have a friend named Edmund who actually came and visited me in America, and I took him on his very first camping trip. And he just couldn't believe it. I
He
mean,
probably didn't want to go home, did he?
it's so amazing. It's so beautiful, especially here in Georgia. We just have so many different places to go camping and enjoy yourself and just get away. And this project is going to make those trips a lot more fun and a lot more frequent, I think, because obviously when I'm done with the project, we will not, we just can't wait to hit the campgrounds.
Okay, so right now you've got the floor in place, and you just need to go ahead and build the frame and put the door on and see the thing take shape.
Yep,
So
that's pretty much it.
and looks like you've got a lot of work to do if you want to get this project done before the end of February. And and definitely you've got our email address here. Send us the photographs so we can keep our listeners and people who want to visit the website up to date on how your progress is coming, because you just never know. With some folks, they may want to take on a project like this. You never know if they're going to come across somebody who has a boat trailer that they are just dying to get rid of, and people see what other folks are doing. And and I get tremendous ideas anytime I go camping, because I'm always looking to see what somebody else is doing, not for the purpose of copying them now, but just to get ideas on what I can do to enhance my camping experience anytime I go out camping.
Right. And I encourage your listeners to reach out to me. You can certainly include my email with the photographs. There have been a lot of learning curves along the way, and I've actually sustained a couple of injuries, nothing major, but just a nicked finger here and there. And I can see throughout the building process why the professionally made campers are so expensive. Part of the reason that I'm building my own is I really can't afford to go out and spend $7,000 on a brand new camper, or upwards of 10, 15 and beyond. So that's why I'm trying to do it and keep it cheap. But it's definitely been a learning process, and it seems every next step there's just many more decisions that have to be made. And it's not as easy as I thought it was going to be, but it's sure been it'll give me such a sense of pride to finish this project.
I can think of some times many, many years ago when I've smacked my thumb with a hammer. So, don't feel bad when it happens.
Well, nicking it with a jigsaw is no fun, I'll tell you that.
Well, Rich, I tell you what, if anybody, any of our listeners throughout the world have some advice that they want to pass on to you, what is your email address so they can email you directly?
It's Rich Dennard, that's RichDennard at yahoo.com.
That's very easy to remember. Okay, and like I said, Rich, as your project moves forward here, send us some photographs so we can share them with all of our listeners throughout the world. Anybody that enjoys listening to the Happy Camper Radio Show can visit our website, visit our social media sites, and be able to see this project in the making. I'm very excited for you, and I saw the boat trailer. We'll share that with our listeners here shortly. But as the project progresses, I can't wait to see the end result and see what it's all about. And being the fact that you are a Georgia resident, I have a feeling that we're going to meet up at a campground somewhere.
I think you're right.
And I know when that happens, I'm going to break out the gear. We're going to do a show. We're going to bring other fellow campers on. And even though I enjoy the comforts of this wonderful plush studio that we have here in our Snellville area, I really do like breaking out the podcast gear at the campsite and interacting with individuals and people that I've never met before. But again, you've got a friend for life when you meet a camper. Rich, I thank you so very much for joining us here on the show today, and keep us posted with your progress. I'm really looking forward to it. And little do you know, you probably have a lot of people rooting for you.
Thanks so much for having me, Skip. I really appreciate it.
We're talking with Rich Dennard of Ackworth, Georgia. He is building his own RV on a boat trailer, and he's got the floor laid out. He's getting ready to put the walls together and make it all happen. I'm really looking forward to seeing the pictures and the end result. Thank you again, Rich, for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Skip.
Wow. What do you think of that? Hey, Rich, I tell you, you've got a lot of folks here at the Happy Camper Radio Show that is just rallying behind you. And I'm sure that by the time you hear this program, you're going to be out in the garage swinging your hammer again and trying to get your project on wheels. But, I am really pleased and really happy that we have guys like Rich who not only have taken an interest in our program, but is taking the time to bring his family together and enjoy the world of camping. And I totally believe by the time he is finished, and by the time his wife adds some of the little touches, I know she will, to the camper, that they're going to be spending a lot of time out on the road and enjoying nature at its very best. So, Rich, definitely stay in touch with us here at the show and let us know how your project is coming. It's time now for our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. It may be snowing something terrible up in the Northeast, but this week I'm going to take you out west. We are going to go to the state of Oregon to Camp Sherman Campground, and this is one of those year-round campgrounds that if you're just looking for something to do, you happen to be out there on the West Coast, hey, and you love greenery, this campground has it all for you. And there's a lot of great things out there to see and do. If you're into hiking and fishing, they top the recreational activity list. Biking is also a great way to see the area as well. Anglers can enjoy fly fishing, fishing for rainbow trout, whitefish, bull trout, and Kanoki salmon. I never heard of that before. Of course, I haven't been fishing in a good long time, but I know a lot of people that do go camping and take their fishing poles with them. Hey, if you're into day hiking and backpacking, you'll find a variety of trails that you can go ahead and tour and take a look at some of the scenic terrain. They range from the riverside trails to routes along the Salbafine Forest. So, you'll find it all here at this particular campground is Camp Sherman. It's located out there in the state of Oregon. And a couple things that I do want to point out here to you. There's a handful of sites for both tent and RV camping, and there's only one tent-only site. Now, each of these sites are equipped with a picnic table and fire rings. They have vault toilets and drinking water available, but there are no electrical hookups. If you're looking for a place that you just want to get away from everybody and everything, this is a campground to consider. Some of the other activities and amenities they have there, bird watching, they have an entrance station, campground host. We talked about hiking, your firewood you can purchase there, river access, picnic shelter, trash collection. It's a great campground, and there is some other things I want you to know about here before you go. Camp fees are reduced during the winter and early spring season. So right now would be about the time for you to go ahead and enjoy camping and save a few bucks too in the process. Remember, don't move firewood, purchase your firewood locally. It's a great place to visit, a great place to go camping, a little on the isolated side, but hey, there's nothing wrong with that. It's out in Oregon. It's Camp Sherman Campground, and it is our featured campground of the week here on the Happy Camper Radio Show. And as always, if you have a campground that you would like for us to feature on the show, get in touch with me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. And don't forget to include a link to the campground website. Well, folks, that's about going to wrap things up for me. It's been a great show. Enjoyed talking with Rich there. And if you would like to be on our program, definitely get in touch with me at 404-537-2267. Leave your contact number and a voicemail message for me. Or again, like I said, you can email me, Skip, S-K-I-P, at happycamperradio.com. And before long, I'm going to be sitting in my recliner working on my show notes for next week's episode. Hey, don't forget you catch us online anytime at www.happycamperradio.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at Camp Talker, add us to Circles on Google+, and now subscribe to us on YouTube. The Happy Camper Radio Show is a presentation of Skip Huber Productions. I'm Skip. I am a happy camper, and no question about it, my friends, we can make a happy camper out of you. Talk to you next week. This is Happy Camper Radio.